What is your American dream?
My dream is that the big monsters that are still alive and well in this country, which is racism, sexism, also, class difference, social inequality, you name it, become, first of all, openly visible, that we keep speaking about it, and that it changes radically.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 5th. My name is Brad Bernstein. I'm with Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. How are you?
I am good.
You look shining today.
Oh.
Like you have this
glow
about you.
Oh.
Is something going on?
Actually, I was very pissed off today.
Really?
Well, partly because of something that happened with
You don't get angry.
I'm mad at Con Ed, but
you're mad at Kanye?
Yeah, Con Ed.
Oh, Con Ed. You're mad at Kanye.
But
what are you doing?
Right, no.
Oh, Con Ed. Everybody's mad at Con Ed. Who's not mad at Con Ed?
Yeah, I don't like them.
By the way, for those who don't know, Con Ed is the electric company in New York City.
Yes.
Right.
But I'm probably all like relaxed and shiny because I hired somebody to clean my place, the Devro, today. So it's just so nice and smells good and everything is just so
everything's
brand new.
clean.
Yes.
The toilet's clean.
Yes.
The sink's clean.
The shower is clean. Yes. And I didn't have to do it.
Wow. Very good. Very
We're moving
good.
on up when we start hiring people.
You are. You're like the Jeffersons moving on up, right?
Yeah. So maybe that's why.
That's maybe. I don't know. You look glowing today. I don't know why. Let's say hello to the squad. Jessica Leamy, Joelle Davis saying, "Squad up, my loves." Is she number one on YouTube? No, she's not.
She's number one on Facebook.
She's number one on Facebook. 4. So I don't want Jessica Leamy telling me she's. Yesterday, who was yesterday? I forget now. I'm just having a senior moment. It was Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Yes. Was number one both on YouTube and Facebook, and then everyone went ballistic. I've got it too. Yeah. I said we're only doing it moving forward. Carol got the
first one so far.
She got a Brad Show Live mug.
Yes.
Nobody won it today.
No.
All right, Elizabeth Francis, squad up. How are you? Lisa Bling Rose, squad up. Dawn Harriet, Dip Fab, Cake Affairs. I wonder if Dip Fab Cake Affairs knows it's apple pie. They seem to have similar vibe, I think. What do you think? Yvonne Stewart, squad up. Dolip Aja Kampad. Oh my, let me do that again. Dolabe Aja Kapanja. Saying, hello, Brad. How are you? Welcome. Dawn Harriet, squad up. And Myrtle Ray, we see watching. Elizabeth Francis. Demba Sal, squad up. Carol, the Tiger. And who else we got here? Anybody else? Moya Staten. Moya Staten is watching.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't comment, we see you watching, Moya.
Yeah.
Welcome. Daryl Winnebus, squad up. How are you? Earth Angel Perch, squad up. Jessica Leamy is double fisting. Sola Bonwo, squad up team. Jean Love, Kyra Jones, Top Cat, double fisting. Robert Jackson, squad up. Daniel Okanda. And Nikki Z saying, happy Tuesday, squad.
Yeah.
Nikki Z.
Nikki Z.
Why do I feel like Nikki Z just won a Grammy Award? Does that sound like somebody who would have won a Grammy?
Yeah, Nikki Z.
And the winner for new artist is Nikki Z, right?
Yeah, that's actually a great name.
It's a great name. And Kavar Harris saying, squad up. Kyra Jones jumping in there as well. Yo-Yo, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you all to throw in all your questions right now in the comment section so we can have enough to read during social media check-in. The earlier, the better. That means we are going to go in order of receiving them, all right? So if you throw them in now, it's more than likely that we will answer those questions. And also, please share it on all social media platforms because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, and he's going to fill us in on the latest news, including a recent settlement between immigration advocates and ICE's New York City office that forces the agency to stop a secretive no-release program. And of course, it is Tuesday tea, so we're going to be sipping on some celebrity headlines, including one about thee. And us,
right?
Yes,
okay.
yes. So it's a big congratulations in order for everybody. It was announced today that Bradshaw Live has been honored in 2 categories in the 26th Annual Webby Awards. So that is all of our honor.
That is all of our honors.
Yes, and that's a huge thing.
It is an honor to me, to Yo-Yo, to Jilly, the entire crew back there.
Absolutely.
And an honor to the squad as well, because everybody is part of this show.
Absolutely. There would be no show without the squad,
right.
without the crew, without all of us.
That's
so
right. I mean, there would be no comments.
Yeah.
No calls.
Yeah.
No questions.
We'd be talking to ourselves.
We'd be like, Yo-Yo, you asked that same immigration question for 3 straight weeks now.
Listen, that's all we got. That's all we got.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you can call 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's +1 212-227-8933. The lines on my computer are lighting up like it's Christmas right now, Yo-Yo.
Uh-oh.
So
Let's get to it.
hint, wink, wink. If you don't call probably in the next 3 minutes, probably may not get on the show.
Yeah.
But if you call, there's about 2 lines left. 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, again, +1 212-227-8933. And later in the show, we're going to hear the second part of my discussion with Marianna Treviño-Wright. Now, you may remember she's the executive director of the National Butterfly Center located in the lower Rio Grande River. And Donald Trump and his group of really rotten pumpkins came and illegally took their land, closed the Butterfly Center, and started building a wall. They had to close the Butterfly Center because they were using, we're going to find out what they did, but they were using some very bad tactics to scare the Butterfly Center and the people working there from even showing up to work. And we're going to explain why the center announced in February it was shutting down indefinitely due to safety concerns. But right now, it's time to schmooze. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. So, you. By the way, you broke the news yesterday, Yo-Yo.
Yes.
Live on our show, Yo-Yo. breaking. We are a news show, Yo-Yo.
We are a news show.
We are. Yo-Yo breaking the immigration news yesterday. That as I was announcing that President Biden is going to end Title 42 to allow people who are on the Mexican side of the border to come to the United States, apply for asylum, be allowed in if they pass a credible fear interview, and then go see an immigration judge shortly thereafter for an asylum hearing. If they pass, they're granted. If they're denied, then obviously they would get sent home and deported. And for the last 3+ years since, is it 3+ years with COVID? 2.5 years.
Yep.
Since COVID started with that rotten pumpkin president we used to have.
Right. And
he used the COVID pandemic to prevent anyone from applying for asylum on the southern border. And what did I say, Yo-Yo, before? And Yo-Yo, by the way, he said yesterday, it looks like some Republican states where there's a majority of Republican voters and a Republican governor and Republican state attorney are going to sue the Biden administration so they can continue Title 42.
Right.
And I said what? I said, well, it all depends on whether Biden followed the rules or not.
Right.
If we've learned anything on Bradshaw Live, all these executive orders are lawful as long as you follow the rules.
Right.
If you don't follow the rules, that's when it becomes unlawful and gets overturned. It's the same thing over and over and over. So what do I got in my cards, Yo-Yo?
All right, what happened?
It says 3 Republican-led states are suing the Biden administration to stop it from ending the Trump-era pandemic restrictions that effectively block migrants from entering the United States and applying for asylum. The plaintiffs in all three cases, and I'm quoting from their news release, claims the Biden administration's plans to roll back the policy are arbitrary and capricious because the government did not follow the rules required to make the change, right from their press release.
Wow.
What'd I tell you?
So they didn't follow?
I don't know. That's what they claim.
Oh, that's what they claim.
I am not an executive order
I would be surprised if he made that same mistake.
I am not an executive order expert. But I would think that if you're going to be the president, you better get somebody in there to be your right-hand man or woman who knows how to make an executive order and follow the rules.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody out there that knows how to do it. As we discussed yesterday, Biden was planning on increasing immigration officers at the border. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, was going to, among other measures, prepare temporary facilities to house individuals who are applying for asylum, deploying hundreds of immigration officers to assist in the interviews, and leveraging other partnerships with other federal agencies. And it has set up a Southwest Border Coordination Center at its headquarters to coordinate across multiple agencies. The way the Republicans make it out is if literally there's a gate, Biden opened the gate and says, welcome, come on in.
Right.
It's kind of not how it works. Okay? How it works is you have to go to a border crossing. You have to apply, make an affirmative application for asylum, pass a credible asylum interview, that you are telling a credible story and that there is, your story reaches the level of somebody who is part of a group that is being persecuted because of race, religion, political identity, or whatever it may be, sexual orientation. And then if you pass that credible fear interview, then you get to see an immigration judge where there's an actual trial to determine whether or not you can apply for asylum. So it's not a situation where, here we open up a gate and people are just flooding in. But that's what you would see on Fox News. Even last week, the Department of Homeland Security began offering COVID-19 vaccines to migrants encountered at the U.S.-Mexico border, and it's expected to grow that program over the next few weeks and months. But I would bet you Title 42 is going to be in place at least for the next few months until the case winds its way up to the Supreme Court, who will make a determination whether or not Biden followed the rules or not.
Okay.
That would be my guess. We'll see. So far, there has been no stay of the executive order. Stay means halting the change in the program. But we'll see what a judge has to say.
All right.
Yo-Yo breaking the news yesterday.
Yeah, it feels good, guys.
Feels good to break that news, right?
I mean, that's what I'm here for, guys.
All right. Yo-Yo, our beat reporter here at Bradshaw Live. And after 2 years in court, by the way, for those who have had family or friends picked up by Immigration and Customs Enforcement since 2017, you will know one thing. When you get picked up by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in New York City, in the New York area, okay, you are not getting bail. Every lawyer knows that. Okay, as a matter of fact, they just came out with statistics. Only 4% of people who were picked up by Immigration and Customs Enforcement got bail from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which means 96 out of 100 people arrested by immigration sits in jail. Every immigration lawyer knows that in New York City. That doesn't mean they don't get out. What that means is when you get arrested by immigration, there's an immigration ICE officer who's assigned to your case, who has to make a determination whether or not you're entitled to bail. Bail is supposed to be based on, do you have potential relief from removal? Do you have family ties in the United States? Do you pose a threat to security in the local area? And it doesn't matter what the person was arrested for by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that nobody got bail. And then an immigration lawyer would have to be hired, wait for a bail redetermination hearing before an immigration judge, where an immigration judge would issue bail. Those bail redetermination hearings were taking months and months and months. So sometimes people would sit in jail for 2, 3, 4 months before they got a bail hearing. Well, it turns out that according to the New York Civil Liberties Union and the Bronx Defender's Office, which is a low-cost or free legal service for people who are detained for local criminal crimes, said that they sued ICE because they had a secretive, illegal practice of blocking the release of all New York area immigrants, no matter what was presented to them.
Whoa.
They said federal law requires ICE officers, this is what I said, to make individualized custody determinations to assess whether a person should be released. Since 2013, the agency has used a risk assessment tool that considers factors like a person's family ties, connections to the community, time in the country, blah, 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 just like I said. Now, it offered one recommendation after it was put into this risk assessment computer program: no bond. Every time you would put in the information, it would come back, no bond, and the immigration officer said, okay, sorry, no bond.
Wow.
Well, the result was a plummeting level of release for people considered low risk by the federal government. Now, groups said in March 2020 lawsuit, there was a lawsuit started in March 2020, that while ICE released 47% of the people in the category from 2013 to 2017, the number dropped to 4% from 2017 to 2020. Who was the president between 2017 and 2020?
The pumpkin.
It was the pumpkin. How did all of a sudden the computer program, the analytical program to determine whether or not you could get bond change from 47% to 4%? Seemed very odd even to the layman, right?
Very suspicious.
So there was this lawsuit by the New York Civil Liberties Union. They were also joined by the Bronx Defender's Office.
It's horrible.
And there is now a settlement that Immigrations and Customs Enforcement will get rid of that analytical program that the Trump administration put in. They're going to go back to the old program where at least 47% of the people were released on bond who had low risk to the community, low risk of not showing up. If you have relief from removal, you're married to a U.S. citizen. You've been here for a long period of time. You have family that would have hardships if you were deported. Those are people who want to show up to court to clear their name and get their green card and not run.
Right.
The settlement says that requires that all immigration officers complete documentation reflecting their individual assessments of each individual person, and each immigration officer must go through new training on the terms of the settlement. So now we are expecting, at least in New York City, that people who are detained by ICE will be able to get bond without having to sit in jail for months and months and months waiting for a bond redetermination by an immigration judge. So that's some good news.
Yeah.
And this morning, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky gave a graphic account of the situation on the ground to the United Nations Security Council today, claiming Russians killed civilians in Bucha. We talked about that yesterday. For pleasure.
Wow.
Killed them for pleasure. Earlier, he warned worse atrocities may emerge amid the ongoing retreat of Russian forces around Kiev. You're going to see worse atrocities in Mariupol. We're going to talk about Mariupol in a little bit. An increasing number of leaders are accusing Russian forces of committing war crimes. President Biden included said it's a war crime, that President Vladimir Putin should be charged with war crime. Ukrainian President Zelensky told the United Nations Security Council he expects Russians are going to blame everyone but themselves, just like we talked yesterday, right? What did we say yesterday? The playbook of every authoritarian government.
Sounds like something Trump did.
Right, exactly. Every authoritarian government it's a lie, it's a fake, it's something else. But in this particular case, there's satellite photographs. There are drones photographs showing what Russians were doing. There's satellites in the air now that could zoom down to very granular, specific incidences of what the Ukrainians are complaining the Russians are doing, which is killing helpless, defenseless civilians. He said, speaking through a translator via video conference, they will say there are various versions, different versions. It's impossible to establish which one of those versions is true. But Zelensky said there is conclusive evidence that there's satellite images that show what really happened in the attacks on Bucha. Zelensky cast doubt whether he would ever meet or shake hands with Vladimir Putin after what the Russians are doing to Ukraine.
I wouldn't either.
Addressing a virtual press briefing, the Office of the United Nations High Commission on Human Rights spokesperson Liz Throssell reiterated the United Nations horror at images that have emerged showing civilian bodies strewn across the streets of the town located northwest of Kiev. And one of the things that Zelensky said, if the United Nations' number one reason for being in existence is to further peace, prevent conflict, and for anyone in the United Nations to stay on the sidelines, to say, no, this is not happening, we're going to let Russia do this, what is the purpose of the United Nations? And I have to say, I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
If we have a international body whose sole purpose is to prevent war, prevent aggression, to not side with a country that does this to their neighboring country, and to sit there and say, sorry, we're not going to say anything, we're not going to stand up, we're not going to do anything. What's the purpose of the United Nations? Why do we even have it? Why do we even have international law? Why, Yo-Yo? Why? Because I can't come up with a reason.
I can't either.
Today, Mayor Vadim Bochenko, the mayor of the besieged Ukrainian city of Mariupol, said in a televised that when the Russians leave Mariupol, if you think what happened in Bucha was bad, wait till you see what happened in Mariupol. He said in a televised briefing that they're on the brink of a humanitarian catastrophe. No lights, no water, no food, no medicine, not for a week, not for 2 weeks, not for 3 weeks, but for over a month. There are over 100,000 civilians in the city of Mariupol, have nothing to do with this war, it's just where they live. They have no lights, no water, no food, no medicine for 1 month, and have lived through bombing after bombing after bombing after bombing. Now 90,000 people have managed to escape Mariupol, but there's still 100,000 people still trapped there. And today it was announced that aid workers from the International Committee of the Red Cross were detained by Russian authorities trying to get into Mariupol to deliver food, water, and medicine. Now, why is Mariupol so important? Because this is going to come out, Mariupol is going to come out as you think there was a humanitarian disaster, you think there was war crimes in Bucha. Wait till the news comes out from Mariupol. We haven't seen it yet. Now, Mariupol is important because if you remember, in 2014, Russia took over Crimea from Ukraine. Nobody did anything. The world let it happen, which is what emboldened Putin to do this. And Mariupol is the city that connects Crimea to the Donbas region. The Donbas region is very ethnic Russian, part of Ukraine. That is the area that Vladimir Putin said that there are Nazis killing Russians, which was his reason for entering Ukraine in the first place. They want to connect Mariupol to the Donbas region. They want to be able to separate Ukraine into two countries, just like North Korea and South Korea, with Russia dominating the eastern part of Ukraine. Mariupol, 90% of the city they claim is destroyed. And it's the biggest, by the way, it's the biggest seaport, second biggest seaport, or it's the biggest seaport in the Azov Sea. It's their second biggest seaport in all of Ukraine. Odessa's the biggest. Terrible what's going on there.
Yeah.
What else is happening? Where's the rest of my cards here? Is that all my cards? Can't be. That's all my cards. Can't be. Did I lose my cards somewhere? Ah, here. I'm sorry. I lost half my cards. I'm back.
All right. They were you. You didn't lose them. You had them.
I just kept throwing them down. Now, according to Joe Biden, he is going to be announcing more sanctions. Sanctions aren't going to do anything. I mean, in the long run, it's going to do something. But in the short run, Putin keeps doing this.
Keep doing it, yeah.
All right, sanctions aren't stopping him. At what point, Jonathan, if we say Russia could threaten and kill 100,000 people in the city, at what point does, in Mariupol, because that's what's happening right now, and that's just one city in Ukraine where there's many more, and we've already seen Russia indiscriminately kill civilians in the suburbs of Kiev. We've seen reports of Russian troops raping women, cutting people's tongues out because they were trying to threaten where are the ammunition. Savage stuff. And now, who knows what's happening in this city where there's 100,000 people.
Right.
And by the way, I'm not saying this is the Russian people, because I think the Russian people are being duped. They're being lied to. They are being lied to by their government.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe if the Russian people really knew what was going on,
they wouldn't
right.
be supporting it. I don't think so.
Yeah, Boris Johnson gave a speech today. He's the Prime Minister of the UK. And he gave a speech in Russian. I didn't know Boris Johnson could speak Russian. And he gave a speech in Russian, and it was directed to the Russian people. And he said, "You're not seeing the real news. Please get a VPN, because Russia's blocking all Western news from coming into Russia. Get a VPN and watch what's going on." That's what Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, told Russian people. Meanwhile, there's 100,000 people being starved to death. Who knows what's going on inside the city with the Russian troops in there? At what point does the world say, are we going to allow 100,000 people to die?
I've asked that question a long time ago.
I mean, how many are we going to allow 100,000 people in Mariupol to die? And who knows how many other cities this is happening?
I literally asked that question like when we first started. I was like, so at what point do we? Because we know that they're going to end up. They're going to keep on doing this until they get it.
How much suffering are we going to allow people to have before the world says and does something? You know, you don't want to have World War III with a nuclear weapon. But I've been thinking about this. If United States and NATO says we don't want to go again, I'm not saying we should, by the way, because it could be World War III. We're putting Americans at risk now to make a much wider war. I'm not saying we should do it. And I don't believe we should do it. So I don't know if there's an answer. But my concern for the future is this. If we say, as a nation, the United States of America, NATO, we don't want to go against Russia because we don't want the threat. They have nuclear weapons. We don't want a threat of a nuclear war. What does that say to all the other authoritarian leaders out there? You know what it says? Let me get a nuclear weapon, and I can do whatever the hell I want. Because the world will be scared to do anything against me. So here we are in a situation, because trust me, you don't think every authoritarian leader around the world is saying, wow, Western Europe, all of NATO, the largest military, the most best financed military in the world, they're scared to do anything against Russia that has what appears to be a military that can't even go up against the Ukraine, which is a small little country. because they're scared of a nuclear weapon, of a nuclear war. Well, then any small country can do that, get a nuclear weapon. And now I'm free to do whatever I want to my people, and I'm free to do whatever I want to my neighbors. So nobody thinks about that, what happens in the future. And I'm not saying we should go and defend Ukraine or go in and have World War III. Nobody wants that.
Right.
I'm just saying I think about that. And in coronavirus, the Senate finally made a bipartisan deal to fund an additional $10 billion for COVID assistance for the year 2022. There was originally supposed to be a $15 billion deal. $5 billion came off the budget for COVID relief. You know where the $5 billion came off of?
Where?
No vaccines for international countries that can't afford their own vaccines.
Oh.
Sorry, United States isn't going to pay for your vaccine. Doesn't really matter. And it's so short-sighted. Even if you say, I don't want to be a humanitarian. Okay? Even if you say, you know what, I don't want to be a humanitarian. United States is not business of being a humanitarian. We don't care if somebody dies of COVID in another country. The more people who get a vaccine, the quicker this is over. It is extraordinarily short. And by the way, I don't want to see anyone die. So for $5 billion, we spend so much money on everything.
Oh, right.
Come on, give people
They can do
vaccines.
that.
It's so cheap to do.
They
You
can
can
do that.
vaccinate hundreds of millions of people.
I agree.
Okay, it's so short-sighted. It just keeps the pandemic going. And you know who else gets left out of pandemic relief? There's no more free vaccinations. So your insurance company has to pay for it, or you got to pay for it.
Oh.
But the United States government will no longer pay for free vaccinations.
That wouldn't be smart.
That's not smart either. But that's what it is. That's what it is. All right, we have any tea?
Yeah, Don Harriet said the tea getting cold.
The tea's getting cold, right? That's what Harriet's like.
Get to the tea.
Get to the tea already.
Hey.
Hello, Jeremy J. Rhymes.
Whoa.
We got a lot to talk about at tea here, Yo-Yo.
So much.
So much. What do you got today?
Raspberry pomegranate.
Ooh.
I was scared J. Rhymes was going to come in and smack me. You know,
As long as you don't talk about his wife.
I'm scared to even say he gave a bad rhyme. Leave my rhymes out of your mouth. Boom, boom, boom.
As long as
I
you
don't
don't
know,
talk.
but I got it.
He's still rhyming.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine you got to be like, scared like a comedian now, like everyone's
Right.
going to come and.
Listen.
You know, when we won the Webbies, and we're going to talk about it in a second. We didn't win excuse me. We were honored in the Webbies. Excuse me. We did not
Right.
win.
Yeah,
I
you
just got yelled at.
Get the facts.
I just got yelled at. We won an honor at the Webbies. We don't get to go to the ceremony because only the top 5. We're top 7 or top 9 in the other category. Get to go to the ceremony. I was going to write the Webbies and say, hey, if you invite us, I promise not to go on stage and hit anybody.
Yeah, don't say that.
So anyway, congratulations to us, Yo-Yo.
Yes.
Yes, we were recognized in the 26th Annual Webby Awards in 2 categories. In news and politics. Not bad, right, for an immigration show?
Not bad.
We were in this category where the 5 people who were nominated for the award was the overview from NBC Universal, Ian's Quick Take from G0 Media, the Damage Report, which is the Young Turks, Insider News on YouTube channel from Insider Company, and Deep Dive from TRT World. And the 2 honorees were Al Jazeera and Bradshaw Live.
Nice.
All huge media companies
Yeah.
that put on
That's amazing.
a news show, an entertainment show with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to put on a show.
Yeah.
And here we are, our small little group of less than 10 people, right? I'm a lawyer during day. Yo-Yo's arguing with Con Ed during the day. We show up and we do our show.
Yep. It's pretty big.
I think it's pretty good.
Pretty big.
Al Jazeera has a
was
few
there.
more people than us, I would say.
Yeah.
NBC Universal, I would say, has a few more people than
Agreed.
us.
Agreed.
So congratulations to the crew and squad on that. And we're also honored, which is very nice, in diversity and inclusion. And
love
that
that.
was a very important thing when we started our show. And I was converting this show from a radio show to a digital show. Call it a TV show, but it's a digital show. What was extraordinarily important to me is that we did make sure that we were inclusive of everybody, that we were about diversity, that we were about including people and not excluding anybody. That was very, very important to me. So actually, I feel good. I'm good about both.
Yes.
But I feel very good that we were at least honored for that and recognized for that. In this category, the nominees were Feminist Economics for the Institute for New Economic Thinking, the Changemakers by the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, Introducing Always Black by Penguin Random House, Made by Her, which is on Hulu, and Latinos Are Essential, which is on PBS. The honorees included Bradshaw Live, Black in Focus from Bloomberg News, Gennaro 101 on Amazon, and A Beautiful Resistance from the Boston Globe.
Pretty awesome.
So pretty good company,
Yeah.
right? All of them much bigger companies than us, but very good companies. So congratulations to the squad. Congratulations to them behind me.
Yes, absolutely.
Congratulations to you, Yo-Yo. I couldn't do it without
Yes,
you.
And congratulations
Thank
to you.
And,
The Brad and Bradshaw Live.
Yes, yes. I couldn't do it without myself
Right.
either. And by the way, some other nominees in other categories include Billie Eilish, Seth Rogen, Megan Thee Stallion, Olivia Rodrigo, Rihanna, Jimmy Fallon.
Nice.
So we are very proud to be recognized in such a competitive field, along with such amazing talent. And the awards are going to be Monday, May 16th. We are not going to win an award, but we were certainly very close.
We're honored.
And we were honored.
That's
and
just
that's
as great.
And that's very good. And good luck to everybody else.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And by the way, President, did you check out the Grammys?
I did.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched. We missed the first hour.
Did you see President Zelensky give his speech?
Yes.
Yes. He gave a speech at the Grammy Awards. He wanted to give a speech also at the Academy Awards. The Academy Awards didn't allow him to give a speech there. They didn't want to make it political. Yet it became very political.
Oh,
right.
right.
All right. Quite ironic,
Right.
right? So President Zelensky offered a speech. He began with the war. What's more opposite than music? The silence of ruined cities and killed people. Our children drew swooping rockets, not shooting stars. Over 400 children have been injured. 153 children have died, and we're never going to see their drawings. He added that our musicians wear body armor instead of tuxedos. I see videos on Instagram of musicians in the Ukraine playing in bombed out cities in the square. They sing to the wounded in hospitals. The music will break through anyway, to live, to love, to sound. And then eventually peace will come to all our cities the war is destroying. I have a dream of everyone living and free like you on the Grammy stage. It's very touching.
Yeah.
He's very good orator.
Yes.
Right, he's very
And I
good
was
at giving a
wondering, I
speech.
didn't know that he was in the entertainment industry before. Because
Yes.
I remember
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
he's an
there's
actor.
something about him
Yeah,
that gives that.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
an
you guys told
actor.
me.
He's
Yeah.
an actor. Now, the speech was followed by a performance of Free by John Legend, who was joined by Ukrainian artists Mika Newton, Liba Yakhmuchuk, and Susanna Egidin. John Baptiste won 5 Grammys, including Album of the Year for We Are.
Which was huge for
You
him.
like that?
That was huge for
Yeah.
him.
Silk Sonic won Record of the
used to perform on
Record
the
and Song of the
train.
Year. What?
He used to perform like on the train. And
Yeah?
Stuff. Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah. He has an amazing story.
Really? I didn't know that.
This one.
Yeah, I know who he is, but I didn't know
He
he
used to,
played
yeah.
before. Yeah?
He used to, just
Wow.
perform on the steps.
So he was on the
subway.
7. He was on the 7.
I don't know where.
Which line was he
yeah, I
on?
don't know where, but he came from a
Wow.
long way.
Wow, Olivia Rodrigo walked. I like stories like that. Olivia Rodrigo walked away with Best New Artist. Lenny Kravitz and Her, with Travis Barker on the drums, performed a rendition of Are You Going to Go My Way?
That was really dope.
Yeah. I was just asking you before. I just saw something. Travis Barker, there's like a rumor that he married one of the Courtney.
I wouldn't know.
You don't know.
I wouldn't know.
And Kanye, he was asked not to show up.
Yeah.
So that's when you first, at the beginning of the show, you said, I'm having a beef with Kanye. I go, you're having a beef with Kanye? Why is everyone having a beef with Kanye now?
I'll leave that up to Harriet Tubman and stuff.
He was asked not to show up. And even his reps said the reason why he was asked not to show up was because of his concerning online behavior.
Yeah, it was a post that he made about Trevor Noah, and since Trevor Noah was the host,
they didn't want any Will Smith, Chris Rock situation again.
Yeah, and that was prior to that. It was before that.
Really?
It was before. Yeah, it was before that. And
they had some premonition then, maybe.
I guess. And so Kanye. I mean, you get that's the consequences for.
Right, and he dropped out of Coachella, Kanye too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's going for some therapy. You think?
I'm hoping. I don't know. I don't know if he's there yet.
I don't know. Okay, and we got to talk about Will Smith, Chris Rock. All right, we all know what happened. Let's talk about the Oscars first. Okay, he won. By the way, Will Smith, he won Best Actor for King Richard. I didn't see the movie yet, but I heard it was really good. I heard it was really good.
Really good.
Yeah. Tony Kotzer became the first deaf male actor to win for Best Supporting Actor in Coda. By the way, I trust Jilly's movie reviews. She told me her and her husband watched Coda last weekend, and it was fabulous.
Oh, I actually want to see that too after this.
And it also won Coda won Best Movie. Mm-hmm. It was an Apple Plus film. What's with Apple? They make the best phones, the best movie. they make the best everything. It's crazy, Apple,
I don't
right?
see Android out there doing that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy that Apple just does everything the best?
Let me not get beat up by the Android users. Let me not get beat up.
All right, so let's get to Slapgate.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Very few people were talking about who won what award at the, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it totally overshadowed everything. And the whole idea behind the award ceremony is to promote movies.
Yeah.
No movie was promoted because of this.
Yeah.
No movie was promoted because of Slapgate.
Yeah.
Is that what they're calling it?
I guess so. I just saw that. That's the first time
I never heard of Slapgate before, but I see it on my cards.
Yeah.
Now, Smith hit Chris Rock after he made a joke about the actor's wife, and a G.I. Jane sequel referencing Jada Pinkett Smith's bald head. And actress Demi Moore appeared in a '97 movie with a shaved head in the regular G.I. Jane. By the way, she was very pretty in that movie. Yes. Just as a side. Rock said, Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it, all right? And you know what? It was a stupid joke.
Yeah.
It wasn't even funny. It was actually a throwaway joke.
Yeah.
All right, stupid joke.
It was very stupid.
It was a stupid joke. Nobody even got it. I mean, how many people saw G.I. Jane in the first place? G.I. Jane...
I mean, it was pretty famous back then.
You think so?
Yeah, it was pretty famous. I mean, we all know about Demi Moore shaving her head, for that. So
now, Smith appeared to laugh at first, but then Jada Pinkett Smith rolled her eyes, changed Smith's demeanor. Smith walked up on stage. Chris Rock had his hands behind his back.
Sucker punched him.
Well, he with an open hand. It wasn't a punch, it was a slap. Sucker slapped him.
And he did that because I hear that, if you hit somebody with a closed fist, that's like, it's worse than open-handed.
Well, I think getting slapped doesn't hurt as much as...
Right, but law in the law, there's something I heard. I don't know if it's true, but if you hit with a closed fist rather than an open hand...
I don't think Will Smith was thinking about the law at that moment.
True.
Right, I don't think he's saying, well, if I hit him with an open fist, I'll get a misdemeanor, but if I hit him with a... I don't think that was...
Slap him.
I don't think... I will tell you this, and I told you this off the air. You don't need Chris Rock to press charges against Will Smith.
Right.
That's an assault.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was seen in front of millions of people.
1 billion people saw it. They can. Excuse me, sir. Did you watch the Academy Awards? Yes. Did you see Will Smith slap Chris Rock? Yes. Case closed. It's an assault. We can get 1 billion witnesses to come and testify against Will Smith, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't need. So the LAPD said, "Oh, we're waiting for Chris Rock to file a report." I wish I had the bullshit buzzer on that one.
My main thing is, I
just want to talk about the law first, okay? And then you can tell me the main thing.
I just want to know about the squad because we got tea time is not only with us, it's also with the squad, and this is a big, a big thing that happened. So I do want to know from the squad. Are you Team Will, Team Chris? And let us know why in the comments, because that's like the main reason we do this, so we could all like talk about this situation. So I want to know what you guys think, and I already see some of you guys throwing it in and giving some really good points. So I want everybody to chime in as well.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. So from a legal standpoint, they don't need Chris Rock to file a complaint. Just go arrest the guy. They got 1 billion people who witnessed an assault.
Right.
1 billion people. No, I didn't do it. Wasn't me. No. What's he going to say, right?
Yeah, he can't say that.
Can't say that. So, he's lucky he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because any other black man.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a wrap.
It would have been a wrap. Done. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't even made it back to his seat. Mm-hmm. Right? Will Smith got to sit down, and everyone's shocked, the heck happened here?
Right.
Nobody did anything.
Yeah.
Then he won his award and he got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Which is quite hypocritical, I think, of Hollywood.
Yeah.
To give him a stand. I just find it extraordinarily hypocritical.
Hollywood is hypocritical,
is.
so it's not surprising.
It is. Yeah.
It's not surprising at all.
And a few days later, at first nobody knew how to react, but there are people who are definitely pro Will Smith still, but I would say a majority of people have kind of rallied around the fact that what he did was wrong. And now people in Hollywood, the same people who were giving him standing ovations, coming back, oh, that was wrong, shouldn't have done it. I find it so hypocritical with Hollywood that they have to wait to see what everybody's opinion is before they form their own opinion.
Yeah.
He's now been asked to resign from the Academy Awards.
He resigned.
Oh, he resigned because he was gonna get thrown out anyway.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means he can't enjoy the benefits that members are afforded, including access to screeners for films, in consideration the ability to vote for potential nominees. His invitation to attend future Academy Awards and related events remains to be seen. He could still be up for an award, but I doubt the Academy would ever let him win an award again or even be nominated. What do you think? Certainly not in the near future.
I definitely think it will affect their decision to allow him to.
And what do you think? Do you think he's going to turn into like Mel Gibson, where, remember Mel Gibson was drunk at a, for those who don't know, Mel Gibson got arrested. Braveheart. He got arrested like a decade ago. He was drunk at a drinking and driving, and when he got pulled over, there was an audio of him making anti-Semitic comments that the Jews control Hollywood and Jews control the world and blah blah blah, and he got blackballed by Hollywood for a decade. Just starting to make a comeback now. Do you think it's going to affect his career?
Will Smith doesn't need to get blackballed because he has a huge production company. They can make their own movies. He still has fans. He's still very much so loved
I was just
around the
asking.
world.
I don't,
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He has a one-up on what Mel Gibson had. He didn't have his own
production company.
$1 billion, however much it's worth, dollar production company. So Will Smith is going to be okay. It's just going to always, my thing is Chris Rock you're always going to think about that slap. Like, I got slapped. And I think that is more damage than...
For Chris Rock.
Yeah. I think that's way more damage than Will Smith not getting work, because he's going to still get work. But Chris Rock, he's always going to be known as the guy that got slapped on stage forever.
And Will Smith is going to be known as the guy who couldn't control his emotions.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, but Will could still make movies.
I thought Chris Rock really acted like a gentleman. he could have turned around and hit Will Smith back and made this a whole fiasco.
I also think that Chris Rock isn't that type of person.
Right,
So,
I
like,
said he
if-
acted like a gentleman. And
Yeah.
by the way, if you think it was, instead of Chris Rock, it was Dwayne The Rock,
That's what I'm saying.
okay, giving an award, you think you think Will Smith is coming up and slapping Dwayne The Rock?
No. And if he is, I don't think he's going to sit back down that easy.
Right. So, I mean, Will Smith came and hit a smaller guy.
Yeah, so like even with Chris Rock's brother Tony Rock, who's another comedian, he's a little more hood than Chris Rock,
Right.
and Tony Rock was like, "Come see me," So it would have been a different ending if that was Tony Rock.
Meanwhile, Harvey Weinstein and Roman Polanski both received Academy Awards. Both are accused or convicted of rape. They did not lose their Academy Award. That's a lot worse than
A lot worse than a
anything
slap.
Will Smith did. Except
Between guys that have known each other for over 25 years. This is like a brotherly feud. It was nasty, it was disgusting, but they've known each other. And I personally think the reason why he was super mad is that he had a conversation with Chris Rock before, because he did speak about his wife
he had no
in
right to
2016.
he had no right to get up there and,
Right.
and yeah.
Not saying he did.
Okay. All right.
So I'm saying that I feel like that's the reason why he, felt the need to do that, because it's like, bruh, I done told you, we've known each other for this long. You know my family, I know yours, but does not justify it. He could have made Chris Rock look really, really dumb by just like simply like not laughing or saying, "Don't talk about my wife."
Right.
He could have heckled right back, and
Right.
people do that, but like to come up and assault somebody is not right.
Meanwhile, did you see what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's a famous
I did.
basketball player, he wrote, I'm quoting, "With a single petulant blow, Smith advocated violence, diminished women, insulted the entertainment industry, and perpetrated stereotypes about the black community. Hollywood awards shows are traditionally a venue where much worse things have been said about celebrities as a means of downplaying the fact that it's basically a gathering of multimillionaires trying to sell movies and make more money.
That's what it is.
The Smiths could have reacted by politely laughing along with the joke, by glowering angrily at Chris Rock.
Like I said.
Instead, Smith got up in front of the industry peers, millions of people around the world, hit another man, then returned to a seat to bellow, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth," twice. Tiffany Haddish, she's pro-Will.
Yes.
She said, "For me, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen because it made me believe that there's still men out there that love and care about their women and their wives." But Abdul-Jabbar said he feels it's the opposite. He said if Rock had physically attacked Jada, Smith's intervention would have been welcome, for sure. But by hitting Chris Rock, Will Smith announced that his wife was incapable of defending herself against words. Pinkett Smith seems like a very capable, tough, smart woman who can take care of herself. This woman does not need men to defend her. That's basically what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And by the way, she has her own show.
Right.
She can say whatever she wants on her show.
Yeah.
Okay, and get a lot. Will Smith has 50 billion people on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't have to say. He just has to make an
That's what I'm
Instagram
saying.
post.
He could have
Right.
done it to where like what he wanted was Chris Rock to not look good for that joke. So he could have easily done that other ways without assaulting him.
And what do you think of this? This is what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said. He said, young boys, especially black boys, watching their movie idol not just hit another man over a joke, but then justify it as him being a superhero-like protector, are now much more prone to follow in his childish footsteps. Perhaps the saddest confirmation of this is the tweet from Smith's child, Jaden, and that's how we do it. What do you think of that?
I mean, I agree with them. I think that was my issue when I sat back, because at first I was Team Will. Not gonna lie, I was Team Will.
You were the first that we were having a debate.
Yeah, right, and I still stand by why I was like that, because I react off of my emotions, and that's just who I am. So I understand why he felt the need. Sometimes I lose I'm not in my right mind, and I might do something that I will regret. So the fact that we regret it, he had to put out an apology. That right there just confirms why it was wrong. So I say it was wrong. But my thing is, I agree with what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said there. A lot of people kept on saying, oh, this is setting us back. This is making us look bad in front of the Oscars. I said, F the Oscars, because Hattie McDaniel, the first black woman who won an Oscar, wasn't even allowed to come sit inside that room. So I don't care about the Oscars. I don't care about the classiness of it, because it's not classy. It doesn't have the history of being classy. It was not there for us. So I don't care about that. I care about how it affects our community, the young boys that are going to be watching this, because I see it down the street walking in Harlem. They're playing around, slapping, say, you just got Will slapped. You know, it's not a joke. It's not good. That's not a good thing.
What about in the club? You know, I've been seeing now they made it into a song.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that right there, just, you know, it's not good for the youth. It's not good for the community, especially when you look up to these people. So yeah. It hurts us. It hurts us.
And by the way, Dawn Harriet, Yo-Yo would never hit me.
I would never
hit me.
Ever.
Maybe throw
but
some,
you also would
may,
never disrespect me. See, we have respect for each other.
But maybe you throw some tea in my face.
No, would never. Unless it's a reality show and like we got paid for that.
Now let me ask you this before we go to our meat and potatoes. One last thing that Kareem Abdul, curious about your opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
He said the black community took a hit from Will Smith. One of the main talking points from those supporting the systemic racism in America is characterizing blacks as more prone to violence, less able to control their emotions. In fact, Fox News host Jeanine Pirro wasted no time going full metal jacket racist by declaring the Oscars are not the hood.
Yeah, so with that, like I said, I personally don't care about what white people think about us, because these are also the same people who had ancestors that used to lynch black people and bring their kids out for, you know, that was entertainment.
Well, not my ancestors weren't even here.
But when I say this, obviously I don't mean everybody. You know,
so
like I have some of the bestest friends that are white people. If that was their family and that's what they believed, then obviously I wouldn't be. But that's what I'm saying. We're not. That's not what we should be worried about. What we need to start worrying about is within our community, how it's going to affect us within our community. Of course, now, you know, racist people or even people who don't want to show they're racist, they're going to use that as ammo, you know? Yeah, so of course she's going to take it right away, you know, that reporter, and start talking about it and call the Oscars ghetto and say, oh, it's unfortunate too, because it was produced by two black HBCU, Will Packer. Like, Will Packer graduated from FAMU. That was a huge thing. The fact that he produced this Oscars, and this was the first time he did that, and Will Smith took it away from there, you know, took away all of the shine and stuff from that. So I'm not worried about what white people think about this. I'm worried about how we react within our community and how we're going to learn from this. Me personally.
Aniki is Team Chris. Danny Boy's Team Will. Jasmine Campbell, Team Will. People taking both sides.
Yeah. That's the thing.
CM, Team Will.
The people that are Team Will, I don't say nothing against y'all, because like I said, I was all the way 100% Team Will.
Brave Girl, Team Chris. Will is crazy. He needs mental health care. And let me see what's on YouTube. Carol, it's not a great example for young people, for real. Not. So I guess she's Team Chris. And Shireen Maxwell, what Will did was wrong. I think Rock knew his temperament and knew he would react in that way. He expressed his dislike before, yet Rock continued. Dawn Harriet said he should have Snoop Dogged him back.
See, but then, you know, then the whole thing would have been off. Like, it's, you know, so I'm happy that Chris, and I personally don't like Chris Rock. Like, I don't
You don't-
find
well,
him funny.
oh, I
don't,
think Chris Rock's funny.
I don't like him.
I always thought Chris Rock was funny. That's funny.
Something about him just like rubs me
I didn't think he was funny in that joke.
Yeah,
It
something
wasn't
about
a funny
him
joke,
does-
but I liked Chris Rock.
And then the fact that I read that it wasn't even him that wrote the joke. It was, the Academy, their
Right.
writers, and also he did not know that she had alopecia. So I took that into consideration as well.
What do you think of people who say, well, if she's so concerned about her alopecia, it's not a life-threatening disease?
Nobody can say that.
Okay,
As a black woman,
one second.
when
Let me
you
finish.
lose your hair.
Let me finish. She could wear a wig,
No.
then shave her head. I'm just telling you what people are saying.
That's dumb.
Why? Why is that dumb?
Because, first of all, if you don't have a disease that you're talking about, you should have no say-so. If you're not a black woman who has already had trouble with being accepted for your hair, and you finally find that peace and are accepted for the course of your hair, nobody can say that. And then when it starts falling out, some women, they are their hair.
Right.
That brings their femininity. And the fact that she is able to cut it off and feel comfortable about it, finally, and then somebody comes out and talks mess about it in front of millions of people.
But she didn't feel comfortable about it in the end. If she felt comfortable about it, she wouldn't have rolled her eyes, I think. She didn't feel comfortable about it.
That's what I'm saying. No,
Yeah,
she's
she doesn't
comfortable,
feel-
and she's now
Right.
she's now at a place where it's like, I shaved it.
But she
am
doesn't feel-
comfortable. But like,
she doesn't feel comfortable with it yet.
which
No.
is why nobody
Right.
can say, oh, you can always throw a wig on. Are you serious? That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting to say.
All right. I can't disagree with you. I was just seeing what
that's,
people were
that's
saying.
disgusting to say.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to TikTok. In this edition of TikTok Time, we could go on forever.
Right, we
I mean,
can.
literally, it's
Look,
7:35.
Come on.
1 hour talking about this. All right. In this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about how to. There's really it's so many issues.
Right.
So many issues.
Yeah.
There. I mean, in so many levels, it's like an onion, and you keep peeling it
Yeah.
away, and it's just more and more. That one slap is so many issues.
Yeah.
In this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about how to get a spouse out of Afghanistan, COVID vaccines, social security numbers, and moving to the United States from Canada. Let's watch.
You can definitely try to expedite the case, but there's no U.S. Embassy to process anything there. Really, kind of everybody's on their own there at the moment. They got to figure out a way. Your husband's got to figure out a way to get to a third country, and then certainly we can help him process that. If you get your medical exam at this very moment, you won't need a COVID vaccine, but they're going to ask you for it if you don't get your green card by October 1st, so you might as well just do it. Yes, your social security number is not going to change. You can absolutely still use the same social security number that you had from your H-1B. And as a matter of fact, any undocumented employment or illegal employment will not prevent you from adjusting your status. Good luck. Being a permanent resident in Canada gives you absolutely no advantage of getting a green card in the United States. You have every option to get a green card just like anybody else from around the world.
All right, meat and potatoes. We're in the middle of dinner already for most people.
I know.
Oh my God! You know what? I sweat when I talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock. We're gonna talk forever. I mean, we were just even talking during TikTok. You're like, it took away from so much from the
Latina,
right? The actor who was deaf, the first deaf actor to win.
Yeah. It was,
The hosts were otherwise.
I think he was the second though.
Oh, second or first?
Yeah, I think didn't
First male maybe.
The first male.
Yeah, Marley Matlin won.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he's first
Right,
male.
right,
But then
you're
the first Afro-Latina that was like, I'm out and I'm proud.
Right. Nobody
Like,
even talks about it.
No.
It's not even,
It's sad.
That's what's the sad because it took away from everybody else.
Questlove, come on, Questlove. That was a brilliant documentary that he received, and nobody is talking about it. Yeah.
The one thing is it was just so egotistical of him to go.
Yeah,
It was so. Oh, I just dropped my pen.
Yeah.
It was so egotistical of him to go do that and just put the entire show on him.
Mm-hmm. That's what it did.
All right, we got to get to meat and potatoes. All right, let's do it. You got questions? I got your answers. Mary in Crowley, Texas. Mary.
Yes, I have a question. So if I have a 10-year permanent resident card that expires in July, do I still have time to apply for citizenship?
Yes. And even if your green card expires in July and you have not filed for citizenship and you have not filed for the renewal, you can do it in August or September, because the idea is that because your 10-year green card expires, it doesn't mean you're no longer a lawful permanent resident. It just means you don't have evidence of it. So you can file for your citizenship now. If you filed now, you probably won't become a citizen till the fall. Your green card will expire. It doesn't mean you're not a lawful resident. You'll only need to renew it if you want to travel, or you need to change jobs or a driver's license, or somehow prove that you're a lawful resident. But if you don't need to prove you're a lawful resident to anybody, you don't need to travel, just file your citizenship.
Okay, great. That's all I need to know. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's go to Kenneth in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes. Hello, Brad. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, quickly, yesterday I got a letter of intent to deny. You know, they were attacking my previous marriage divorce decree. You know.
Right. Where are you from? Nigeria?
Yes.
Guess what? They attack every divorce decree from Nigeria. Every last
Yeah, but
one.
that's not. Yeah, but this is just not right. They didn't go there. They should have gone there to check it. They didn't even go there. They were just saying. They didn't really. They were not even sure.
Correct. They summarily say that every divorce from Nigeria is no good. Now, I will say there are many divorces, in all honesty, from Nigeria that are fraudulent. Not because you did something wrong, but because the attorneys in Nigeria just literally don't follow the rules. I don't know what they do there, but I've seen a lot of divorces that are just not legit. That doesn't mean every divorce from Nigeria is not legit, but what it does mean is that USCIS does not believe a divorce from Nigeria is legitimate. So it's your burden now to prove that that divorce is legitimate. Start by going to the Nigerian consulate in the United States and asking them to verify the authenticity of your divorce and submit that authenticity certificate back to USCIS. That's where I would start.
Okay, so that's the other way forward?
That would be if you were my client, that's what I would have you do.
Okay. Where is the Nigerian? So do you have any idea where the Nigerian embassy is?
There's one in New York. There's one in Washington, D.C. There could be others around the country. It's called Google.
So have you ever seen anyone who went through that route? And because you know sometimes this Nigerian...
Yes, I've had clients go to the Nigerian consulate. They verified the authenticity of the divorce, and immigration approved their case.
Okay.
That's where you start.
Yeah, because they gave me just 30 days.
So I would contact the Nigerian consulate tomorrow.
Okay.
All right? And if you have a problem, call me.
Okay, I'll call you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Kelly in Baltimore, Maryland. Kelly.
Hi, Brad.
Hi,
how
Kelly.
are you?
How are you?
Fine, thank you. So it sounds like your Nigeria questions are a lot tonight. So
it sounds like what?
I just heard the previous caller about Nigeria.
Right.
So I'm also asking.
Oh, so you have the same problem?
No. I'm just saying I filed an I-130. My husband is in Nigeria. My question is, so I received the receipt notice and all that. I went online, and what I noticed on the USCIS website, they uploaded I submitted over 400 plus pages. Right? They submitted 25. They uploaded 25 pages of the most randomest stuff in my file. It makes no sense to me, like hotel receipts. I mean, they didn't, not even the, marital certificate, any of the stuff that to me would be substantive to say these are actual, things they want to look at. And I'm curious why, I don't even know why.
Because they want to know that you're in a relationship. I think what they're asking is to prove that you're in a legitimate, bona fide relationship with this man.
So I've been married since 2019. I couldn't file in 2020 because of Trump's stupid,
I'm not.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is, I've worked with an attorney, right, initially to package everything, so it was packaged properly. My question is, when I looked at what was uploaded once they, because they give you the digital, you can go online and see. They pulled like maybe 20 pages out of a 400 some plus pages that I submitted, and it's like a snapshot of my WhatsApp conversations, like two receipts from hotels. This is like over a 3-year period.
Let me say something, Kelly. There is a difference between being in a legal marriage, and having a relationship with your spouse, and being in a legal marriage, having a relationship with your spouse, and intending to be in a bona fide marriage. Those are 3 different concepts. So being in a legal marriage is there is a marriage certificate and you were both free to marry. That does not entitle your husband to a green card. Being in a relationship and being legally married does not entitle your husband to a green card under the law, whether you like it or not. I'm just telling you what the law is. Being in a relationship, having a legal marriage with the intention of residing in a bona fide marriage is what entitles him to a green card. So you have to prove...
Which is where we are.
I understand that. I'm just telling you why they're asking what they're asking. So you have to prove that not only you know this man, you're in some sort of relationship with him, which I'm sure you are. You're in a legal relationship with him because there's a marriage certificate. But you also have to prove that it is your intention and his intention that when he arrives in the United States, you will be in a bona fide marriage. Bona fide marriage means to the U.S. government that the two of you intend to live together every day, share the same bed at the end of the night, wake up together in the morning, and have a financial relationship with each other. So I don't know what they asked for, and obviously 25 pages seems quite long and ridiculous. I've never actually seen...
No. So, Brad, let me be clear. Yeah. I submitted a package. It's like 400 plus pages, like high quality stuff, everything that they would want to see. I mean, pictures from over 3, like stuff, all those things, whatever, like to show the bona fides. What I'm saying is they took excerpts from that when I submitted, and like it's very random. And I'm like, none of this is what they pull to upload online to USCIS. It looks crazy. I'm like,
you're talking about not upload. You're talking about the National Visa Center.
Nope, I'm talking about USCIS.
USCIS, okay.
It says stuff that they uploaded from my case. It is like a snapshot, like five pages from my conversations from 3 years. 2 receipts when we went to Lagos.
What is the question that you have for me today?
The question I have, Brad, is like, why have they not uploaded everything? We're trying to figure out, like, I don't understand the process.
Well, for USCIS, you just have to get the visa petition approved. You just have to show that you're in a legal marriage. So I don't think it was even you needed to submit 400 pages of a bona fide marriage to your spouse. To get the I-130 approved, you just have to show there is a legal marriage between you and this man in Nigeria. When he goes to the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, that is when you have to prove that he intends to be in a bona fide marriage with you. So I wouldn't really worry about what USCIS is doing, quite frankly, as long as you're in a legal marriage.
No, I hear you, and I don't want to hold up, because I know it's a lot of people. I guess, to be honest with you, I feel like it is like bias towards African immigrants. This is just my opinion, from what I've seen and what I've heard.
It is absolutely biased against, I can tell you for sure, Africans, Nigerians especially, 100%. As I told you before, every divorce from Nigeria, they don't believe.
Yeah, it's sickening. All right, so that's why I'm asking, because
the answer is yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Okay, the app called Lawfully, you'll see cases move ahead of me, and I'm like, this is insane.
The answer is yes. You are 100% right. If your husband was from Norway, your case would be going faster.
Incredible. Yeah. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Let's go to Sandra in Boston.
Hi. So my husband, he came on a student visa in 2017, sorry. And then he left Florida and went to Canada because of the whole Trump situation, I guess. And then he was
What do you mean he went to Canada because of the Trump situation? What Trump situation?
filed for asylum in Florida, and then I don't know what happened, but from what I was told, he left.
He got scared.
I guess he got scared.
So he never did he have an asylum interview?
No, actually, we just got a paper this year for it. But he left and went to Canada and filed for asylum in Canada
and he
as well.
got it there.
No, he got rejected and told him to go back to to go back to Haiti.
Okay.
And then he obviously came back to the United States illegally. And then we got married, and then I filed a I-130 petition, and he got approved. But then we recently got a letter telling him to go back to Florida to do an interview, but we withdrew because of financial.
He's got a whole issue, sort of. He's got a lot of problems because I assume he was undocumented in the U.S. For some period of time.
Yes.
Before
after he came back.
Okay. And then he left the United States and then returned after being undocumented. That could be a permanent bar to getting a green card now. So I'm not saying it is because maybe he didn't have a 10-year bar when he left. It all depends on how he came to the United States and when he applied for asylum or a 3-year bar. So what I would suggest is we need to have a consultation because let's assume he came from Haiti without inspection, lived here for more than 180 days, then filed for asylum. When he
had a visa, a 5-year visa.
Okay, so when did he file for asylum? When did he file for asylum after he arrived?
In 2017.
And when did he arrive? 2017?
I think 2016, I believe.
Okay, all right. As long as he did not overstay his visa by more than
108. He didn't.
Okay, so then he's okay with the iwi. Okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. I'm so sorry.
Okay. But he re-entered the U.S. when?
2018, I believe, 2018. But it was illegally because Canada told him to go back to his country.
All right. He can't go for his asylum interview because he left. Okay.
Right.
And,
that's what we figured.
And he can't adjust his status here because he entered without inspection. Why didn't he? At that point he didn't get TPS because he came too late.
So he applied for TPS.
Right.
So when I filed for the petition and it got approved, and then we got a letter saying that he has to go to the interview for asylum, but because of financial reasons we couldn't go. So I sent out an email to withdraw. Then they sent another letter telling us that they dismissed the case, but they knew that he left the country.
Okay, so his asylum is done.
Yes.
I'm not sure about his TPS. He could get TPS still because he came back in 2018, so he should be able to get TPS. So he should be able to stay here on his TPS.
Okay.
If you travel on advanced parole on TPS, you can no longer adjust your status here. So let's make sure he gets his TPS first, and then I got to make sure he doesn't have a permanent bar to reentry if we were to do a provisional waiver for him to return to Haiti for 2 weeks and then come back to the U.S. with his green card. Because the one thing we don't want him to do, we don't want him to leave and then get a permanent bar. And that all depends on what happened with that asylum and how long he was out of status before he left for Canada and then returned to the United States. So I think this needs a consultation. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Let's go to Grace in Dallas.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Please, I filed for VAWA last year, precisely by June. So I, so far, have gotten a prima facie, but then I'm still holding on based on approval. But my concern and fear now is this. Before I left my country, Africa, precisely Nigeria, I got my divorce decree from the court before I came here. But I've been listening to your show, and based on the caller that called, the second caller, he complained that he had same issues.
Your VAWA case goes down the tubes if your divorce was not valid from Nigeria. So yes, I would be concerned because then they're going to say you never were in a legal marriage with your spouse. If you're not in a legal marriage with your spouse, you can't be an abused spouse. So
Exactly.
what I would
So-
do now is do the same thing that I told that caller: is verify your divorce. Start there.
Okay. Can my second marriage be still be valid even if I got a divorce decree from my first husband again, as long as I meet the requirements of a protective common law marriage in Texas? Is it possible?
No. You had to be legally free to marry the man in Texas.
Okay, so I cannot obtain
So in other
divorce.
words, if your divorce from Nigeria was not legitimate for whatever reason, and you came to the U.S. and unbeknownst to you, you thought it was legitimate. So many people think it's real and it ends up not. So I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but you then go marry this man. You're an abused spouse because your divorce was never legal from Nigeria. You're in a bigamous marriage to this man, so you can't get VAWA being in a bigamous marriage to this man. If your husband was the bigamist and not you, you can do VAWA. But if you're the bigamist, you can't. So we got to verify that first divorce and pray it was good.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Jada in Portland.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
So I submitted my N400, and after that process is completed, I want to file for my husband, who's in Jamaica. So once I submit the I-130, do you think it's wise to go for the K3 visa or just to wait until the I-130
I think it's wise
comes?
to do the K3. It'll speed up the case.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much,
welcome.
and congrats on your recent
Oh,
accomplishments.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right, very nice woman. Fall in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
I just have a question about, I've been in this country 20 years. I have a work permit. I have a social security. I'm working. But I don't know how did I get the green card.
Well, how do you have a social security number from 20 years ago?
I was filed and I have a social security like almost 19 years
Where are you
ago.
from?
I'm from Mauritania.
All right. So your question is, I'm here out of status. You have a social security number somehow. I have no idea how you got it. You'd like to get a green card.
Yes.
You need a consultation. Hold on. We don't do how do I get a green card on Bradshaw Live. I would have to give you a consultation. You had a specific question about a specific case. I'm happy to help you. But how do I get a green card?
My physical question is, if my work permit want to be expired.
How do you have a work permit? You haven't explained to me how you have a work permit.
I was on a file refugee.
You entered the United States as a refugee?
Yes.
And you've been a refugee for 20 years and never got your green card?
Yes.
Then you need to file an adjustment application. See, now I can give you the answer.
Okay. How did
If
I
you've been a
find
refugee for more than a year, you file an I-45 adjustment for your green card. But if you're not sure what to do, now you need a consultation. I'll tell you what to do or I'll do it for you. But it's an I-45 adjustment. That's what you need to do. If you've been a refugee for more than 1 year, you can file your adjustment 1 year later. You've been a refugee for 19 years, so it's time for you to do that. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Amy in Tampa.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Congrats on your award
Thank you.
achievement. My question is the following. If a person that came in 2014 with a visa, a tourist visa, but then overstayed and then applied for a TPS from Venezuela, but is pending the biometrics, and in the meantime, that person got a restraining order for domestic violence, and then he violated the restraining order, got arrested for threatening the wife. He got arrested, and then he was released on bail with a GPS monitor not to get close to the wife for 1,000 feet, plus an additional criminal no contact order. Can the person get the TPS get deported, or how's the situation?
Well, I don't think you're going to get TPS as an aggravated felon. So you're describing to me an aggravated felony.
He's pending trial.
Okay.
Still.
So he needs, before he gets before he takes a plea, if he's going to take a plea, he should speak to an immigration lawyer to say, what are the consequences of this plea?
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So,
I appreciate
in
it
other
very
words,
much.
At some point, judge or the district attorney is going to give an offer. District attorney is going to give an offer. And the offer is going to be, you're going to avoid trial, plead guilty to this. That's the best offer, or you go to trial and let a jury decide. And he then has to make a decision whether or not to take that plea offer, which could end up in jail, could end up getting deported, who knows? So before he does that, he needs to speak to an immigration lawyer and say, what are the consequences if I plead guilty to this?
So he might not get the TPS, and he might actually get deported.
Well,
Plus
I don't think
I don't
think they're deporting people to Venezuela right now, because the U.S. and Venezuela don't have. But he probably would not get the TPS.
Okay. Plus he's threatening the wife, who is a
there's
U.S.
domestic
citizen.
violence, and a violation of a protective order is an aggravated felony. So it depends what he ends up being found guilty of. So he needs to speak to an immigration lawyer.
Okay, so when he goes for the biometrics appointment, he probably will get denied the TPS.
No, because he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. Depends what happens. It's
So
not
he
being
would.
charged, it's what you're convicted of. He hasn't been convicted of anything yet.
No.
All right,
Because
so
the
he needs
lawyer
to
asked
speak
for
to an
that.
immigration lawyer about what potential charges he can plead guilty to and what the consequences are.
Okay, and can he force the wife to give him residency?
He should not
The
be
wife is a U.S. citizen, but she doesn't want to fight for him because he's abusive.
He's already forced the wife to do things that she doesn't want to do. He should stay as far away from the wife as possible.
Right, so but he cannot force her to
He
give
should
him.
stay as far away from that wife as possible.
All right.
Anyone
all
who
right.
says that he should even contact the wife over anything, he's violating another protective order.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Chris in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Hello, good evening, Brad.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. Question. An employer giving me a job offer. She did in Florida.
You just got to speak up.
But-
Speak up, Chris. You're a very calm guy, but I can't hear you.
Are we louder now?
Yeah, louder now. Yes, much better.
Yeah, I'm saying an employer that is in Florida, she's offering me a job offer
Great.
to work as a chef,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have legal documents, and she said she will do the
How
sponsorship.
long have you been in the United States?
10 months now.
You overstayed your visa?
Yes, I did.
By how long?
What did you say?
By how long?
The 6 months would have ended November.
So we're December, January, February, March. Okay, so there's no work visa for chef. If you did a straight job sponsorship, perm I-140, it would take at least a year or longer. You would not be eligible to adjust your status here. And if you went home, you may be facing a 3 or 10-year bar. So the only way you would be able to do a sponsorship is leave within 180 days of your visa overstay, let the restaurant sponsor you for a green card for you to return, but it's probably 2 to 3 years. I doubt they would do it, but maybe they would, who knows? But I don't think that's a plausible option for you at this point.
So the best option now is to get married.
In a bona fide marriage, yes.
Correct.
Right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Shan in Kingston, Jamaica.
Hi. I recently have a employment-based visa, EB3 visa. However, my job location changed after my embassy interview. Same employer through our agency. However, the state change, thus the job change.
If
Would that be a
you have a
problem?
job sponsorship for what? A green card, a work visa? What is
Green,
it?
green card,
All right.
nurse.
All right. And you did a job sponsorship in what state?
No, I have an agency. I'm going with my agency.
If the agency is sponsoring you, as long as the agency hasn't changed, that's fine.
Okay, so would I need to give the?
It depends where the job
borders?
is. If the agency is sponsoring you through their specific, I don't know what's going on with your case. If the agency is sponsoring you through their particular agency, then no. If the agency is sponsoring you to be employed in this particular household indefinitely for the future, then yes, you got to start again.
No, I'm a nurse, so I went through an agency. Okay, I was supposed to work in a particular state at a particular hospital. However, after my interview,
Who sponsored you is my question. See, that's what
the
I don't
agency.
understand. The agency sponsored you.
Correct.
Okay. So the agency sponsored you to be employed. It doesn't matter the state because you're Schedule A, assuming you pass the CGFNS visa
Correct.
screen. So at that point, it
I
doesn't.
already have my visa.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. At
just
that point, it doesn't
yeah.
matter. No, it doesn't matter.
No, but my question is, should I, at the port of entry, should I
You got
give
sponsored
them
by-
a
you
new
got sponsored-
job letter?
You can give them a new address, but you got sponsored by the agency, and it's Schedule A in all 50 states, so it's fine. Schedule A
Okay.
means there's a scarcity of workers, so you wouldn't have to do a new labor application.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Valerie in Queens, New York.
Hello.
How are you? Hi, Valerie.
Yes, question. Time for my husband. You get the work permit.
Speak up, Valerie.
You get.
I don't hear you. Speak up, please.
And it's social.
Valerie, I don't hear you. All right, someone get Valerie on the phone. Let's go to Jesus in Houston.
Hey, Brad, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have one I-130 approved, and my I-485 was administratively closed with USCIS back in 2021 because I was in removal. I just got my asylum case dismissed with the court, and my question is, what is the best and fastest way to adjust my status? Because
When you say dismissed by the court, does that mean that your removal was terminated?
Yes, sir.
Then you should be able to reopen the administratively closed adjustment that you have pending with USCIS and complete the case.
Yes. So I was reading, and I just need some clarification, because people, they broadcast whatever on the internet, but it's not the same with an immigration lawyer. So they say that I have like two ways: one to reopen the case, or to refile.
No, you can't refile because you already have a pending adjustment that's just closed but not denied. You can't have two adjustments. So your only option is to reopen. And why would you file a new one and pay all new fees anyway? Makes no sense.
Perfect. Does it have to be at the office that closed my case?
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Good luck. Let's go to Keisha in Edison, New Jersey.
Hi, good night, Brad. How
Hi,
are you? I'm good. Okay, I came into the U.S. through the Canadian border in 2016.
Right.
And I overstayed.
Uh-huh.
I recently got married and to a U.S. citizen, and I would like to know what are the forms that I need to file.
Okay, so
For a
when
green card.
you came across from Canada, are you a Canadian citizen?
No.
Where are you from?
St. Vincent.
Were you a resident of Canada?
No.
No.
I just went for a vacation and come back.
Got
I entered into the
Where's
U.S.
your mom and dad? I understand you entered without inspection across the border.
No, I did. I was inspected.
Oh, you have a visa?
Yeah, I had a B1, B2 visa.
Okay. I didn't
came
understand
in.
that. Okay. The way it was, I was imagining you stowaway in a car, in the trunk,
no.
and someone crossed. Okay. All right, so as long as
No.
you have a B1, B2, then take this down. I-485, I-130, I-130A,
I-130A,
I-864, I-765, I-131.
I-131. Okay.
$1,760 is all the fees you have to pay.
1,760 or $50? 60. And my other question, do I file all these at the same time?
One time with the fee.
Send in everything at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, I have my son. It's not my husband's son. What are the forms that I need to file for him?
Where's he?
He's here with me.
How did he come to the U.S.?
The same.
The same exact forms. So it's one application for you, a completely different application for your son. How old is he?
13.
So he has to pay this $1,760 too.
Okay.
All right.
So file everything together. And then my last question is, my sister previously filed for me like in 2013. Would that hinder anything? No. Okay. All right, great.
Thank you.
Well, that's it.
Okay, good
Thank
luck.
you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Let's go to Yawamo.
Hello.
How do you pronounce your name?
Yeah, Yawamo.
Yawamo. Okay. What's going on?
Amor, yeah, Amor.
What's going on?
Yeah, I have like 2 questions.
Yes.
The very first one, how long does it take after how many days after going for biometrics will the work permit come in?
I don't know.
And the second one, how long how soon can you apply for college after getting your work permit, if that's possible?
Work permit's not going to make you eligible for college or any sort of financial aid, but some colleges will take you, some won't. As far as when you're going to get your work permit after the biometrics, it's supposed to be 3 to 4 months, but anything's possible these days. It's crazy how long it's taking some people. But on average, it should be 3 to 4 months from the biometrics.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
All right. And if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you can always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You can drop me a DM. I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. Maybe I can help you, or maybe I'll tell you need a consultation. If it's a direct question, I should be able to help you. If it's a more nuanced and long encyclopedia of a question, I probably will say, I can't answer this in 1 or 2 sentences, and you would need a consultation. So you can follow me on at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram. If you don't like 2 hours of Brad Show Live, but you like 30 seconds of us, you can follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. Best 30, 45-second snippets of our show. And of course, you could also follow us on TikTok, our fastest growing social media platform. You could leave a question in the comments section or just make a comment, whatever you'd like. But if you do leave a question and I see it, you may very well get a personalized answer video directly to you for the entire world to see. And Yo-Yo?
Yep, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And late in the show, we're going to hear the second part of my discussion with Marianna Treviño-Wright, the Executive Director of the National Butterfly Center, located in the lower Rio Grande Valley, and why the Nature Preserve announced in February of this year that it's closing down indefinitely due to safety concerns.
And now in this VIP outtake, we hear what it's like for Spar and Bernstein client Sally Jimenez to work with the firm.
I was born in the Philippines, then I went to Jordan for 17 years, and then here in America for 24 years now. I left my late husband and my 3 children in Jordan. My boss who sponsored me had 2 couples who worked for him in the past, and Brad, I think, is the immigration lawyer. So he brought me there. He walked me to your office personally in 1997. My first one, who is international student, also Mr. Brad fixed his working permit and green card. He was in college and I lost my job, so I was not able to finance him, and he was in the brink of deportation, and I seek other firm to help me, but they charged me like crazy and I was not able to afford it. So I go back Brad, and Brad really helped me a lot. After I get my green card, I applied for petition by myself. I was broke on that time, so I was not able to hire a lawyer, and unfortunately I filed a wrong petition form. Instead of 6 months, it took 6 years before I got them. It was a very, very long wait. And I went to Brad, and Brad fixed them, and finally they were able to come last March 2010. And Brad really helped me a lot. But I advise that if you have this kind of case, always seek the professional, because if you made a mistake like me, it really take a lot of time and stress actually. So it's better to pay, and Brad is very good to give us a payment plan and no stress at all. He helped. So that's the reason why I want to share my testimony that he is amazing.
All right, let's do social media check-in. Let's do it.
Akif Farani on Facebook. Response to RFE documents I-485 are received on April 1st. How long does it take for USCIS to respond?
At least 120 days.
Hamza Jan, a Facebook VIP member. How can I get my tax papers from 1998 to 2002 as they were needed for my son's CRBA and passport here in Pakistan?
You got to request it from the IRS.gov.
Danielle Okanda on YouTube. I'm in removal proceeding and wanted to know if my case can be reviewed.
Yeah, sure. Call us.
Annette B on YouTube. My son is married to a U.S. citizen. It's over a year and he's still waiting on a call from the embassy in Jamaica for his medical appointment. Is there anything that can be done to speed up the process?
You can request a humanitarian expedite if you have a very good reason.
Janet Janet Morgan on YouTube. How long does it take to get a green card through a sick kid, like OT and therapy ones, for those in the U.S. for more than 10 years? Is there a backlog or waiting period involved if there's no cancellation of removal?
There is no such thing as sick kid visa. If your son or daughter is over 21, you could adjust your status. It's the same waiting time, whether sick or healthy. If you're talking about cancellation or removal, that means putting you in deportation and applying for adjustment of status before the judge based on extreme and unusual hardship to your sick child. That could take 2 to 3 years.
Bad Gal Thompson on Facebook. If I'm granted a green card via asylum, would I be able to file for my citizenship and be able to travel back to the country that I was running from if I was granted citizenship?
Well, if you were running from the country, you know, the general idea is if you go back to that country, then how scared were you to go back in the first place? It's much harder to take your citizenship away than your green card.
Abi RJ on YouTube. I am a U.S. citizen and I've applied for I-130, which will take approximately 1 year. Meanwhile, my girlfriend is pregnant. Once she gets her green card, how can I bring my unborn child to the U.S.?
Say that again, please.
I'm a U.S. citizen and I've applied for I-130, which will take about a year. Meanwhile, my girlfriend is pregnant. Once she gets her green card, how can I bring my unborn child to the U.S.?
If you're a U.S. citizen, your unborn child becomes a United States citizen at birth. Bring your unborn child, who would then be born, to the U.S. Embassy and get a U.S. passport for him. And get a certificate of birth from abroad for a child of a U.S. citizen.
Azari Barth on YouTube. Can someone call immigration on you?
Yes, of course.
Kirkan Dodoshi on YouTube. I got my vowel case reviewed by June 2021. Got a prima facie approved combo card. What are the chances to get a green card and when could that be?
Well, if you get a prima facie, that means at least you prove all 3 elements to a minimum level for your vowel case, which is good moral character, which is valid bona fide marriage, and physical abuse or extreme emotional abuse. Will you get a green card? I have no idea. I don't know anything about your case. It does take about 3 years.
Last one, Igbeen Effie on Facebook. Filed for I-360 January 21st, 2022. Got prima facie February 10th. About to go for a fingerprint next week. Is the case going in the right direction?
Sounds like it so far, yes.
Cool.
All right. So yesterday I spoke with Marianna Treviño-Wright, who is the executive director of the National Butterfly Center, a butterfly preserve established in 1995 in the lower Rio Grande Valley. Since 2017, the center has found itself in the middle of the border wall controversy, and in February 2022, announced it is closing indefinitely due to safety concerns. Marianna joined me to explain why. Let's watch. The National Butterfly Center is an outdoor butterfly conservatory located in the Rio Grande Valley in Mission, Texas, on the United States-Mexico border. The center works to preserve the 340 species of butterflies found in the area through habitat restoration. It is home to the largest and most diverse concentration of butterflies in the United States of America. In 2017, the center found itself in the middle of the border wall controversy when it filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, alleging that federal officials had decided to build a border wall on the center's property without complying with existing law. Although President Biden halted construction of the border wall in January 2021 when he took office, right-wing conspiracy theories have made the preserve a focus of harassment, which has culminated in the National Butterfly Center announcing it was closing its doors indefinitely on February 3rd, 2022. Marianna Treviño-Wright is executive director of the National Butterfly Center. She appeared on Bradshaw Live in 2019 to discuss the border wall situation, and she is joining me again today to update us on the present situation. Thank you for coming on, Marianna. I know you're extraordinarily busy these days.
Hi, Brad.
So basically, they come up with a villain. It's now the National Butterfly Center. All you people are doing is just trying to have a nice environmental area for people to come visit, enjoy the butterflies, keep the butterflies alive. And all of a sudden now you've become this villain who is preventing the wall from going up, allowing people from Mexico to cross the border. And all of these people who are crossing the border are murderers and rapists. And you yourself are using the Butterfly Center to allow smugglers to bring children across in some sort of sex trafficking ring. And this gets people all frothed up. And they believe these things. They donate money to help stop sex trafficking. And this money then goes to some other ridiculous BS about how the election was stolen, stop the steal, which ultimately probably led to the January 6th insurrection.
Absolutely. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
So now you all of a sudden, from taking a job to help bring awareness to the Butterfly Center, are now in the center of a huge political controversy, none of which is your making.
Yeah, a completely contrived maelstrom that was intentionally deployed to defame and disparage us.
You guys closed down. There was a rally recently. Tell us what happened at this rally and why you and your colleagues felt the need to close the National Butterfly Center, sadly.
So let me kind of close the loop on that other lawsuit, the one against We Build the Wall. It is ongoing. And the defendants, We Build the Wall and Fisher Industries, that got $2.2 billion in taxpayer monies for government border wall as a result of his participation in We Build the Wall, and the local landowner, that lawsuit was pulled up to federal court where it did not belong. We fought for over 2 years to get it remanded to state court. On January 14th, we succeeded. We got the lawsuit against Bannon's We Build the Wall remanded to state court. 7 days later, a MAGA political candidate from Virginia, who has now admitted she was sent here, shows up parroting Brian Colfage's memes, his photoshopped images of rafts deflated at our dock on the river, demanding that we open the property so she can go see the quote unquote illegals crossing the river to our property and being sex trafficked here.
Wasn't your property already open to visitors at this point?
It was, and
So
she
you
could have
just came to be a visitor, paid a ticket and come in.
But that wasn't her goal. She wasn't sent here to secretly search for evidence of illicit activity. She was sent here as a provocateur. I asked for her name. I got her name. I quickly Googled her. And at the same time, I'm listening in the reception area. There's some woman declaring very loudly that she's a Secret Service agent. And I don't know if you know any Secret Service agents or have ever interacted with them, but they don't declare that they're Secret Service.
That's why they're called secret.
And I can see online who this woman is, what she's running on, and what she's about. And I went out into the lobby and I told her, that she was not welcome here. This was private property and she needed to leave, or we would call the police.
You threw her out. You have this lawsuit pending. You're winning in court. And now they have this big rally. What was this rally?
Leading this charge, at least the one in charge of this 3-day rally here, was Michael Flynn.
Same Michael Flynn also, who got indicted for failing to notify the government that he was working with the Russians.
Yes. So he was leading this rally. We didn't know about the rally, but while we waited for the police to show up after that candidate left the property, I spent some time on her Facebook page and saw another political candidate I know. And so I called that candidate and I said, hey, do you know this woman? I see you photographed together. What's the deal? And he told me, and he's a former state rep and he's a Republican. He's entirely credible to me, somebody I've known most of my life. He said, Marianna, he goes, I strongly suggest that you be armed at all times, or better yet, out of town for the rest of the week. And you should consider closing the center because of this event. And he told me all about We Stand America, how they had planned their own caravans to the border to go show all of their participants the cartel activity. He said that I and the center were targets of this rally. I took this man's word most seriously. That, coupled with the fact that this congressional candidate had shown up here very deliberately parroting the malicious accusations made by We Build the Wall, and with the intention of provoking something, we took this very seriously.
And as a result of that, you closed the Butterfly Center.
Well, we only closed for those 3 days, and we came back and we thought we'd just go about our business as usual, imagining the rally's over. These people have moved on. But then people began to send us the things that other political operatives associated with Trump had come here and filmed at the National Butterfly Center. And those videos and other messages that use us as a prop and a backdrop. So one particular video filmed by a woman who actually took the stage at the Stop the Steal rally on January 6th in Washington, D.C. She, with a political candidate from South Carolina, filmed a video out in front of the center where they explained the child sex trafficking and narcotic trafficking they allege is going on here. It scared us because of the pattern. These political operatives use a fire hose of falsehood to spread lies, inflammatory and awful, accusations in order to incite people.
And this is around the internet, millions and millions and millions of people seeing these videos.
Exactly. And at Pizzagate, it provoked a man to go to Comet Pizza with firearms and shoot up the place because he was determined to rescue the children he believed, the non-existent children in the non-existent basement. And then We Build the Wall had their own 3-day rally and campaign celebrating the construction of their first wall project in Sunland Park, El Paso. And that had some impact, we now know, on the young man from Plano's decision to drive to the Walmart in El Paso and massacre 22 people and wound 23 others. So part of their playbook is provoking this lone wolf stochastic terrorism with a body count.
And by the way, the Mission, Texas police chief, Robert Dominguez, has gone on record, said there is not a scintilla of evidence that Butterfly Center is involved in any form of trafficking, child molestation, anything that would be illegal or against the law, other than you are there as an environmental sanctuary for butterflies.
And, the southern border is almost 1,900 miles long. The MAGA people could use any location in this 1,800 plus mile long border as a backdrop for promoting these lies, but they've chosen us for a reason.
All right, so tomorrow we're going to hear the final part of my discussion with Marianna and what's next for the National Butterfly Center. All right, ready for speed round, Yo-Yo?
Yeah,
let's do it. All right, we're going to put 50 seconds on the clock. I'm going to answer 10 questions. No Will Smith.
No Will Smith. I-130 was approved. How much time do we have to submit documents to MVC?
As much time as you want.
Filing for my daughter who's over 21 in Jamaica. Can I file for her to attend school while in the interim?
Yes, she can go to school if she's under 18.
If you win the green card lottery, do you need a sponsor for your visa?
You need an affidavit support.
How can someone get a green card if they overstayed?
They need a consultation.
Can a green card holder file for an out-of-state status 18-year-old child?
Yes.
Can the spouse of an H-1B visa get a work permit?
Yes.
Can I file for my mom who, if she overstays her visa, not a citizen?
No, you have to be a citizen.
How long does it take a fiance to get a green card after marrying a U.S. citizen?
About 6 months.
Do I have to bring my child to embassy with me for certificate of birth abroad?
Yes.
Can I apply for U.S. tourist visa with an absolute discharge in Canada as a permanent resident? This is long.
What was that first question you guys going to school? I didn't even understand what you were asking. The first question, I said yes if you're under 18, but then I thought maybe...
filing for my daughter who's over 21 in Jamaica. Can I file for her to attend school here in the interim?
No, you can't because that's a non-immigrant intent, but question didn't get out well.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
And can I apply for a U.S. tourist visa with an absolute discharge in Canada as a permanent resident?
I don't know what an absolute discharge in Canada as a permanent resident is. You have a conviction or you don't. And that absolute discharge doesn't mean anything to me, so I would need to see the disposition.
Don't send this to the Webbies.
No.
Cut, right. Do not add this.
All right, that was not good. All right, comments of the day. As Kyle Anderson the Tiger says, next time, y'all.
Yeah, next time. All right, our first comment of the day comes from Elizabeth Francis saying, squat up to our immigration hero, Uncle Brad, and all the hard-working staff.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And our second comment of the day. Don Harriet saying, don't serve the tea too hot, Jeremy. I don't want my two favorite afternoon men to get hurt.
That's right.
Okay?
Don't burn our tongue.
Yeah. It's actually perfect. It's always
yes.
perfect. And our last comment of the day.
There's 4.
Oh, there's 4.
Yes.
Okay. This one is from Gladys Brown saying, hey, Brad, I like your show and how liberal and generous you are and your staff are.
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, I see the last one now. Sorry about that.
And the last one of the day. They saved the best for last.
The best for last. Kenny G saying, I find myself giving people immigration advice and yet I'm not an attorney. LOL, thanks to Brad.
All right, why not? Hey, if you watch
as long as it's right.
If you watch long enough, you can give the advice. Trust me, you can.
What do they call it? The armchair lawyer?
The armchair lawyer.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I call it armchair lawyer. I don't know about they. I call it the armchair lawyer. All right, thanks for watching. Tomorrow is hump day.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right. We'll see you. Take care. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?